This is what I mean when I say moral economy loop is an economic and psychological trap. It is not just about the money. It is about the pressure around the money does to the human beings living inside it. It steals your presence from people who need you most. It trades your energy for the distraction. It delays the conversations, the decisions, the bold moves forward until delay becomes a way of life. And the real questions never get asked. Why is this pressure this high in the first place? What built this loop? What would it actually take to change it? What can I, or one person in the middle of all of this, actually do? Those are the questions this podcast exists to ask. Not to make you angry, not to make you feel hopeless, but because the first step out of any loop is understanding that you are in one. And the second step is understanding why. I want to be honest with you about who I am. I am not an economist standing in a university office looking at the charts. I am not a politician telling you I have the answers. I am not a self-help voice telling you that if you just fix your mindset, everything will fall into place. I am someone who has worked with and around real people for a long time. People in trades, people running businesses, people raising families, people trying to make reasonable decisions in an environment that keeps shifting underneath them. And what I kept seeing over and over was people who were smart, responsible, hardworking, and exhausted, not because they were doing something wrong, but because nobody was helping them see the full picture of what they were dealing with. The economists talk about the numbers, but rarely talk about what those numbers cost in human terms. The politicians talk about solutions, but rarely acknowledge why the same problems keep coming back. The self-help world says fix your mindset. And yes, mindset matters, but mindset alone cannot break a structural loop. The gap between the numbers on a page and the real human cost of living inside those numbers is what this podcast is here to explore. Not with anger, not with blame, not with the ideology, with honesty and with the kind of clarity that comes from actually looking at what is happening instead of what we wish was happening. Because I believe, and this is the foundation of everything on this show, that the person who understands the environment they are living in makes a different decision than a person who just feels stuck and doesn't know why. Understanding doesn't pay the rent. It doesn't lower the grocery bill. It doesn't fix the housing market overnight, but it does something just as important. It gives you back your clarity. And clarity in the middle of pressure is one of the most powerful things you can have.